Well, I was not a great student at school. I was a horrendous student at school, and although I had interests in film and art and these things, I just was never attracted to the page. And I believe I had, right now, even now, I struggle with numbers and words and the rest of it. So I believe I had a sort of a mild dyslexia at the time. So words were difficult. So I was tending towards film and music and arts and theatre rather than to the page. But then a friend of mine gave me a copy of Catch-22 in the playground. He said, "You like MASH, you'll like this." And I started reading it, and immediately this book had much more to offer than Tom Clancy, much more to offer than Jaws. And I was in, but it was difficult. I was so slow. It took me so long to read this book. And I read it wherever I could. I was lying on the playground one day in the sunshine while everyone's doing all their normal stuff, reading this book. And my English teacher walked out and gave me a kick. I was sitting there, and she said, "What are you doing? I didn't even know you could read." Because I was in the lowest English. I was bumming out of the HSC. I was going to get 0. I was on a track. And she knew this, and she'd given up on me, like most of them had. And she was so surprised seeing me lying on the playground reading Catch-22. So she talked to me about it, and then she asked me what my other interests were, and I said, "Well, I really like the movie Room with a View." And she was like, smacked her forehead and said, "You know that's a book." And so she encouraged me to keep reading Catch-22, and then she discussed it with me, and then later on she just plonked down this big fat volume of E.M. Forster's novels and sat me in the back of the class and gave me almost a separate tutorial on books by letting me read in the class. Fast forward a million years, and I'm 27, I'm sitting in my second-hand bookshop. I've just opened it, and I'm quite happy with myself. The teacher walks in to this shop, looks at me, and goes, "What are you doing here?" And I said, "It's my shop, it's called John's Bookshop. It's on the front, John's Bookshop." She's like, but you can't, but I don't understand, what is going on?" He said, "Well, that was it. You set me on the path. I've not stopped. I've just kept reading the whole time." And she was so excited. And you know, these kind of things don't happen to teachers very often, but there she was, and seeing her work turn into someone who was obsessed with reading, and she was very interested in what I was reading, and very happy to see that I'd kept up the standard that she required.